Hello everyone! On my last vlog, I gave you 9 useful tips on traveling on a budget. And I've mentioned that I'm going to give you more. So this is part 2. I'd like to share with you more tips on how you could save on your travels.
Yeah.
So let's continue with number 10, accommodations. Stay in cheap accommodations or even free accommodations. You can find cheap or even free accommodations. Here are the best places to find them. Number 1, Hostel World. Hostel World is an online platform, and this is the first place to go when you're looking for a place to stay under $20 a night. Hostel rooms are shared rooms with other travelers. That's why they can lower the rates. If you don't mind sharing a room with other travelers, this is an excellent option for you. Hostels are a great way to make new friends and gain a travel partner if you're traveling solo. You'll be stoked to know that not all hostels are dirty, stinky, and unkept. We go to number 2, couch surfing. I never use couch surfing, but I know a lot of people have. This is an app and a website that will connect you with people in the city you're in that will host you for free. This is also known as crash in their couch. It's exactly how it sounds. You're staying with a total stranger, and that's exactly why I haven't done it. If you're in a super tight budget, this is an option to find free accommodation. Couch surfing is ideal if you're traveling on a budget because you can stay at people's houses for free. Just make sure you stay safe, choosing people with constantly good reviews. Next, we go to Airbnb. There are some Airbnbs that are quite expensive, but they do also have loads of budget options listed. You just have to know where to find them. Most of these spots are away from the city, and sometimes if you extend your stay, they're going to give you huge discounts, as much as I think 40%. Next, we go to camping. Camping is easily one of the most universal budget accommodations around the world. This choice is heavily influenced by where you're going and where you're going to be based. So if you have a rugged itinerary, then this is great. We go to number 11, avoid touristy areas. This tip truly goes without saying. The more iconic the destination is, the more expensive it will be. Siyempre, pag mas kilalang tourist area, edi mas mahal doon. Certain destinations, especially in the major cities, jack up their prices simply because they can. They know dadagsaan sila ng tourists. Tourists will just flock there. They know people will travel there regardless, so they will charge more money there. Not common destinations, on the other hand, almost always have cheaper prices. Regions that are off the radar are Central Asia, Middle East, and Eastern Europe. Central Asia, you have, example, Turkmenistan or Kazakhstan. Middle East, you have Qatar, UAE, or even Turkey. Turkey is very beautiful, huh? In Eastern Europe, you have Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. Prague is very beautiful. That's in Czech Republic. Or even Ukraine. Countries in these regions tend to be cheaper and a lot of times really underrated. Also, avoiding touristy areas can be seen in a lot of different ways. So don't feel that you cannot go to Rome, Venice, or Paris because it's super touristy. What it can mean is staying outside of the city or adding another small town in your itinerary, eating where locals eat, going to really cool sites that not many people visit, and visiting a cheaper alternative to something that's really popular. We go to number 12. Search for free things to do in your chosen destination. Search for free things to do in your chosen destination. A great tip for traveling on a budget is to look for free things to do wherever you're heading. Hanap kayo ng mga libreng gagawin. Example, going to museums for free. Museums offer free hours each week and a free day each month. Take full advantage of this. There's no need naman to go from room to see everything. Instead, find out if there's a guided tour or a hands-on class for kids. Some cities like London or Berlin are full of free museums, including numerous collections of art and history that are free to the viewing public. Other cities charge a small fee for entrance in their museums, but even those places frequently offer a lot of discounts and free days. So you just have to Google it. Another is the classic free walking tour. This is a great way of seeing the city you're visiting. Just remember to give a customary tip at the end. Number 13, don't eat away your cash. Cheap lunches can be bought in local supermarkets or even in local fresh food markets, rather than overpriced cafes or restaurants. Wander around before choosing a place to eat. If you choose the first place you see, you won't know if you're overspending. Also, get recommendations from the locals. The locals definitely don't want to pay high prices for their food and their drinks, so they're going to bring you to places that are rather cheap. Speak someone from the area, perhaps someone from the hostel reception, and find out their favorite restaurants. I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. In addition, hostels and spare rooms have access to a kitchen. So if you want to save money, then just cook. Number 14, eat your biggest meal for lunch. Most places that you're going to travel to are almost always going to have a different menu for dinner and for lunch. If you want to try restaurants that intrigue you, it's best to go for lunch since you can still experience a nice meal out without paying dinner prices. Usually, dinner prices are more expensive than lunch prices. With prices being much lower, you can also order smaller plates and share to try more meals, especially if you think you're not going back there anymore. Now, for dinner, you may opt for something light, therefore, a cheaper option. Remember, in some places, the lunch deal is much more cheaper than the full price they charge for dinner. Number 15, use public transport. Buses and trains are much more cheaper than planes. It's that simple. A journey on an overnight train trip also means you have one less night to pay for in your hostel. Also, try a country-specific transport. It's one of the cheapest ways to see the city. In Thailand and in Vietnam, we have the tuk-tuk. In the Philippines, where I come from, we have the tricycle. You can get a 15 to 20-minute ride and explore the city or the town. However, you have to be very cautious. Sometimes, if the driver knows that you are a tourist, they're going to jack up the price. So make sure that you have a local companion with you to explore the city or the town. There are also other carpooling services such as blah blah cars, get around, etc. Blah blah cars, BLA, that's how it's spelled, will save you a lot of money if you're traveling on a budget. BlaBlaCar is a France-based carpooling service, so it goes around Europe. This is how it works. People who have cars who will do the journey anyway and they have a space in their car can invite someone to ride with him and just pay for that space. It's often cheaper than public transport. Similarly, if you're doing a road trip and you have some space, then you can just invite someone and he can pay for that space and it will save you money for your gas. However, the cheapest form of transport, as we know, is walking. This is by far the best way to discover a new area. So, when you travel, you don't have money, then walk. Number 16, get a local SIM card instead of paying your home phone carrier. Data roaming or paying Wi-Fi abroad can be very expensive. One way to save money when you're traveling is getting a local SIM card with locally priced data packages. Once you get to your destination, buy a local SIM card and put it on your phone. This gives you a local number to use. This is my preferred way of staying connected while I travel because I don't need to rely on Wi-Fi connections. And if ever I get into trouble, I can easily contact the local police. But if you're really on a tight budget, then opt for the free Wi-Fi. I'm sure it's all over the place demand, especially in Europe and in the US. We go to the next, 17. Be wary of ATM charges. ATM can charge you a lot of money when you withdraw and exchange your money. However, it's often the case that it's cheaper to take money out of your travels than it is to get it exchanged before you go. Take as much money as you can afford to lose out at once. The more you take out, the less often you'll pay charges. But remember, be careful with thieves, if you have a lot of cash. So if you have a lot of cash, then put it in different parts of your bag, in your luggage, and in your body. Number 18, decide on your budget and stick to it. There are free things to do in every destination. So you just need to manage your expectations of how many expensive activities that you can do or how often you can eat out at restaurants. Once you've planned your budget, try not to overspend. It will only cause you more stress later on your trip or when you get home. Number 19, the last, keep track of your travel budget. For you to stay on top of your budgeting goals, you need to be tracking what you're spending. money can definitely put a damper on your trip if you're always wondering where are you budget-wise. There's a new budget tracking app that I've discovered, and this is called Trail Wallet app. With Trail Wallet, you download the app. It takes only, I think, around 5 seconds to download it. After that, you add your trip, total budget for your trip, daily budget, and immediately it takes you to a page where you can put your first expenses. You can even put your daily budget in the local currency. The main page of the app gives you a weekly overview, today's date, remaining daily budget, total money spent on your trip, and more helpful numbers. So this will greatly help you track your expenses. So what I gave you are several useful tips that you can use when you travel on a budget. I do hope you enjoyed my videos. Feel free to share this with everyone. Again, maraming salamat po. Thank you for your time. And if you haven't done it, please subscribe. Ingat kayo always and stay safe. Bye! I'd like to share with you more tips on how to share I'd like to share with you more tips on how you can save more on your travels. Stay in cheap organics, stay in free organics. We go to number 12, number 13, number 14. The more iconic the destination here, regions that are off the radar. Regions that are off the radar. Just remember to give a cost. Oh yeah. You keep quiet. We go to 14. We go to 14.